Shalom, all praise to Yahweh by Shem Shai, double line to Apostle GMS. This is Amal Allah coming at you in the video. In this video, I want to focus on the book of Revelation 16, verse 15 and 16. Revelation chapter 6, verse 15 and 16. I'm going to start from verse 12. I may want to focus on 15 and 16 because I don't want this video to be too long. So I'm going to read from 12 and just go right down to the point. Just because some pictures and article I want to read, and I don't know how long it's going to take. But there's a couple stuff here that I can go real deep into. But I don't want to do it because the video going to be an hour long. Just, a few of these verses. So let's get right to it. Revelation 6 and 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became blood. And that earthquake is due to the thermonuclear destruction. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. When she is shaken of a mighty wind. All that's going into the missiles. So what John is seeing in the vision, he's seeing thermonuclear missiles raining down on America. That's what he's seeing in his vision. In the coming Third World War. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. That's talking about the Rayleigh-Taylor instability, known as a mushroom cloud. It says Rayleigh-Taylor instability, RTI, occurs when a heavier fluid is supported by a lighter fluid under gravity, or when a light fluid accelerates a heavy one, causing the interface to develop fingers, spikes, and mushroom-shaped structures. This phenomenon leads to mixing and evolution through four stages: linear growth, mushroom formation, bubble merging, and turbulence. Now, if you type in Rayleigh-Taylor instability mushroom cloud, it says a Rayleigh-Taylor instability RTI occurs when a low-density fluid, hot gas, accelerates into a high-density fluid, cooler air. As you just read earlier, remember heavier and lighter stuff? Remember that? In the explosions, a hot, buoyant fireball rises rapidly, and with surrounding air resistance causing it to roll, flatten. It's causing it to roll, heavens roll together as a scroll, causing it to roll, flatten, and form the cap. While dense material falls to create the stalk, like a mushroom stalk, like broccoli, like a mushroom, right? Similar shape. Here's an example of that. I could go deep into the science of it, but just look at that. It's ridiculous, man. Even though this is an animated, even though this is a GIF, it just looks brutal, looks lethal, look dangerous. But that's a Rayleigh-Taylor instability. That's the heaven being rolled together as a scroll. See at the top, like somebody's rolling the scroll. See how see how it's rolled like a scroll. See that? And look at this top part right there, the horizontal part. Look at that, right? Look at this. Look at the stalk. Look at the top part that's rolling up. See, it looks like a scroll. How it's rolling. Not as many other images I could have shown because I got the gist of it. So it says, "And the heavens departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And every mountain and island were moved out of their places." So the mountains and everything was just shaking, was moved out of its places. It was rocking, like you see that image shaking. So the heavens departed as a scroll when it's rolled together. So he looked into the heavens, the skies, and there was a separation. He saw the mushroom cloud. That were departed.
Strong's G 673. Apachorizo.
Apachorizo. To separate, sever, to part asunder, to separate oneself, depart from. So it means to sever, separate, or to depart from. So it looked like the skies itself was just separated because he saw a vast explosion and smoke went up in the air and it was a big explosion. That's what he saw. Okay, so you go back here to departed. says to sever, to separate, sever, to part asunder, to separate oneself, depart from. So the heavens departed like it was a scroll. So it's like the sky vanished. It was like the sky is like the go back. The heaven departed as a scroll and then it's rolled together. So they saw the heavens depart. So when that mushroom cloud occurred, it just engulfed the skies. And that was like the heavens had departed, like they had vanished. It was like, whoosh, and it just engulfed the skies. And every mountain and island were moved out of their place. Out of the places, we broke that down. And the kings of the earth. Yeah, I'm not gonna get through. I'm gonna do a part 2 of this. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to do a longer show on this because I want to do more research on what I really got in store. Because what I really got in store, this can't really be no 10-minute video. It's got to be at least like 45 minutes to an hour. What I really got in store for this. So I'm just gonna continue to break this down. So the kings of the earth, the rulers, they may not be classifying themselves as kings today, but they're presidents, prime ministers, and the great men. So that's the nobles under them. Other people who rule governments but are not the head of the government. Like in the United States, you got presidents, but then you got senators, you got governors, you got mayors, right? And the rich men, those people who are rich, wealthy, have great materialistic possessions, and chief captains, like what the heads of the military, and the mighty men, the actual military itself, the soldiers, and every bondman and free man. Now, a bondman is someone. Every bondman and free man. A bondman is a person that in ancient Rome you had people who were bondmen. They were servants. But you had people who were freemen who were common people, but they were just free. So what this is right here signifies that the destruction of Yahweh Shemir Shah is going to uh not be discriminatory. People of all ranks, all levels of status in society are going to take part in the destruction. Okay? So it's going to be no hiding. Showing that the Most High is not a respecter of persons. Everybody's going to get it. And every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Look at some scriptures on that. Real fast. Genesis 19:30. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in the cave, he and his 2 daughters. That is more. I can read on that. But what was the point? I'll start from 27. And Genesis 19:27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before Yahweh Shemir Shah, and he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. So Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire because of their sexual immorality, homosexuality, lesbianism, so on and so forth. And it came to pass when the Most High destroyed the cities of the plain, that the Most High remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow. So he delivered Lot from destruction when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, and he and his 2 daughters. Now, what was the purpose of me reading that? To go into how Lot fled and dwelt in the mountain in order to escape the destruction, to be safe from the destruction. Just as here it says they hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, just as Lot did to flee the destruction. 1 Kings 18:4. For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of Yahweh Shemir Shah that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in the cave and fed them with bread and water. So what is that going to show you? You had the prophet of the Lord that had fled for their lives. And where did they flee? To the mountains. Into caves. Okay? There's no scripture I can get, but I'm in it there. So that shows you that they're going to flee for the very same purpose. Now it says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Now some so-called scholars are saying, well, they're saying to the mountains and rocks, fall on us. And in other words, they rather be crushed by rocks than face the wrath of the Lord. So they're saying, fall on us, crush us, destroy us. We don't want to face the wrath of the Lord. It's not saying that. They're saying, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Him that sitteth on the throne is the Most High, Yahweh, and him that's the wrath of the Lamb is Yahweh Shai, the one word even called Jesus Christ. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So when the great day of the Lord's wrath comes, who will be able to stand? Nobody. Nobody gonna be able to stand against that, man. You know? People of all ranks gonna get it. We said it in verse 15. So with that, I'm gonna close and say, praise to how about Shemel Shai, double line, see Apostle GMS. I hope you learned something. Shalom.